Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Thira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gora Hari Bol Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Nitya-lila Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Astashata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jaya Nitya-lila Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Astashata Shishimad Bhakti Saranta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Panda Jai His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namachaya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Raj Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dhama Ki Jai Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai Shri Gangamaya Ki Jai Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Gangamaya Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Shri Caitanya Caritamrita by CaksusDas Kaviraj Goswami, translated and commented by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So the chapter, Adya Lila, chapter 17, pastimes of the Lord in His youth. So we go to verse number 24. So please repeat after that. Shuniyaye krutha haila sakala yavana. Kaji pashe ashe sabe kaila nivedana. Shuniyaye krutha haila sakala yavana. Kaji pashe ashe sabe kaila nivedana. Shuniyaye krutha haila sakala yavana. Kaji pashe ashe sabe kaila nivedana. Shuniyaye krutha haila sakala yavana. Kaji Pashe Asi Sabe Kailani Vedana. Repeat. Shuniya, by hearing. Ye, death. Krutha, angry. Aila, became. Sakala, all. Yavana, Mohammedans. Kaji Pashe, in the court of the Qazi, or magistrate. Asi, coming. Sabe, all. Kaila, made. Nivedana, petition. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Hearing the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Mohammedans, greatly angry, submitted a complaint to the Qazi. Please repeat. Hearing the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Mohammedans, greatly angry, submitted a complaint to the Qazi. Purport. The Paujadara, or city magistrate, was called the Qazi. The Jamidaras, Zamindars, or landholders, Mandalaras, levied taxes on the land, but keeping law and order and punishing criminals was the duty entrusted to the Qazi. Both the Qazi and the landholders were under the control of the governor of Bengal, which at that time was known as Subha Bangala. The district of Nadia, Islampura, and Bagoyana were all under the Zamindar named Hari Hoda, or his descendant known as CaksusDas Hoda. It is said that Chand Qazi was the spiritual master of Nawab Hussain Shah. According to one opinion, his name was Maulana Sirajuddin. According to another, his name was Habibara Rahmana. Descendants of Chand Qazi are still living in the vicinity of Mayapur. People still go to the tomb of Chand Qazi, which is underneath a champaka tree and is known as Chand Qazi's Samadhi. Short purport. I read couple more. This is continuing the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu unfolding his Sankirtan mission gradually, and beautiful pastimes taking place, which relevant even today. And if you remember the last few verses, how Srila Prabhupada explains about the importance of chanting of the holy names individually and collectively as Sankirtana, congregational chanting of the holy names. So important for us. And Mahaprabhu himself endorses and instructing that one should chant the holy names. Tonight we also chant Shikshakshtaka in the morning. Every morning we bring our attention back to the quality chanting. Trinadapi Sunichena. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. So it is not enough to chant, just chanting for the sake of chanting, but we also have to chant attentively, purely, avoiding offenses. And as we read on the chapter, Srila Prabhupada gives emphasis of avoiding offenses and following principles. Certain principles we have to follow. Otherwise, chanting is offensive and somewhat very slow progress, if any progress. The holy name is very kind and merciful to us, but we have to be very careful, avoiding the 10 offenses. In the morning we chant the 10 offenses. There are some very important points there. Srila Prabhupada gives lectures on this, especially when we mistakenly think that we can commit sinful activities on the strength of the chanting of the holy names. Sometimes deluded devotees, neophyte devotees, they may think that we can just chant the holy names and carry on our sinful activities, whatever, and justify ourselves that the holy name will take the reaction, the karma. But that's not like that. Therefore, one of the greatest offense to think mistakenly that I don't care to follow principles, carry on my sinful life, and counteract it by chanting of the holy names. That's not matching, that's not compatible with the Vaishnava Siddhanta. We have to follow principles, we have to follow the guidelines of our spiritual masters and try to perfect the quality of our chanting very attentively, humbly. So one day we can chant the Sudha Nama, the pure Nama, the pure holy names of Krishna manifest in our heart, in his form, in his pastimes. Then the Lord is present in that vibration transcendentally. He is not subjected to dimensions. Krishna is above all these dimensions. Krishna is omnipotent and transcendentally present. So the significance of the chanting of the holy name is explained in various writings of the Goswamis. Mahaprabhu himself emphasizes, and the whole Sankirtan mission is about chanting of the holy names. And so there is a beautiful pastime unfolding here, that when we chant the holy names of the Lord, we also have an impact on others, either positive or negative. And we can see that at the current time of this, in 500 years ago, where Muslim rule in Bengal and most part of India had suppressed the Vaishnava Siddhanta, the practice of Vaishnava way of life, often forcefully converting people to Muslim Islam was very, very rigid. Before Mahaprabhu especially, it was very rigid, and so the Hindus were often voluntarily submitted to keep themselves alive, even because it was very rigid and very merciless in one way. So there were taxes laid on people who did not submit to Islam. So we can see how heavy situation. Of course, Mahaprabhu comes and gradually softens up this rigid ruling and emperors and gradual purification and the Sankirtan mission, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord gradually expands throughout India, which is still expanding as we read on the chapters. I don't want to touch too much of the upcoming verses, but so here in this particular short purport, Srila Prabhupada explains about Chandkazi. Chandkazi was the spiritual master of a great emperor, Nawab Hussain Shah. So Chandkazi was already well versed in the Quran, very knowledgeable. We call Pandit in the scholar, Islamic scholar. And Zamindar. He had different names. Sometimes they had Hindu names, they had the Muslim names, and descendants of Chandkazi are still living in the vicinity of Mayapur. So, very interesting, because Chandkazi had an encounter with Caitanya Mahaprabhu, as we read on the chapter. And so he's not an ordinary person either. It's all part of the lila. Often we even celebrate such personalities who may not be directly devotees of Krishna, but somehow or other they took instructions, spiritual instructions from Mahaprabhu. So they got the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So I'll just read the next couple of verses. Krode sandhya kale kaji ekagare aila mridanga bangiya loke kahi talagila. Translation. Chandkazi angrily came to one home in the evening, and when he saw kirtan going on, he broke a mridanga and spoke as follows. Eta kala kehanahi kaila hindu yani ebeya udyama chalo karabala jani. Translation. For so long you did not follow the regulative principles of the Hindu religion, but now you are following them with great enthusiasm. May I know by whose strength you are doing so? Purport. It appears that from the aggression of Vaitikayara Kiliji in Bengal until the time of Chandkazi, Hindus, or the followers of Vedic principles, were greatly suppressed. Like the Hindus in present-day Pakistan, practically no one could execute the Hindu religious principles freely. Chandkazi referred to this condition of Hindu society. Formerly, the Hindus had not been straightforward in executing the Hindu principles, but now they were freely chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Therefore, it must have been by the strength of someone else that they were so daring. Actually, that was the fact. Although the members of the so-called Hindu society had followed the social customs and formulas, they had practically forgotten to execute their religious principles strictly. But with the presence of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they actually began following the regulative principles according to his order. That order is still existing, and anywhere and everywhere in all parts of the world one can execute it. That order is to become a spiritual master under the direction of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, while following the regulative principles, chanting daily at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world. If we adhere to the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we shall get spiritual strength without a doubt, and we shall be free to preach this cult of the Hare Krishna movement and not be hampered by anyone. So I found this purport very encouraging, and I even heard a lecture on this by Srila Prabhupada, that when we have full faith in the holy names of Krishna, then we get full protection. It depends on our faith. We can see how Prahlad Maharaj was protected. He was chanting Narayan, 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 unalloyed, pure devotion, full faith in the Lord. Then Krishna will respond accordingly, depending on our purity, our sincerity and conviction. If we spreading Krishna consciousness, there'll be an impact individually and collectively. Depends on our strength and potency. Of course, we all have our capacity. We cannot imitate high, elevated Vaishnavas. We may not have the adhikari. We just humbly contribute energy, time, and seva, service. And that way Krishna will help us within. And when we chant the holy names, it becomes very sincere. We can chant sincerely from the heart. And then this is again continues to become, so we can actually become empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No one can preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the message of Godhead, Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, without being empowered by Sri Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the blessings of the Vaishnavas. We need to seek the blessings of the assembly of Vaishnavas, because it all goes together. We have to get the blessings of the devotees. So that way, the movement of Mahaprabhu will go forward. So there's a very beautiful, encouraging purport for the preachers that Srila Prabhupada says, if we adhere to the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we shall get spiritual strength without a doubt. And we shall be free to preach this cult of the Hare Krishna movement and not be hampered by anyone. And we can see, even in our personal experience, especially older devotees, they went through many tribulations while they're preaching Krishna consciousness all around the world. Some difficulties taken place, especially different parts of the world where very suppressed certain regimes, not just religious conflict, but political regimes, very difficult to push on the mission of Mahaprabhu, although it's going forward, but it has challenges, and devotees have to sacrifice. So the preachers of Krishna consciousness are the most glorious. Therefore, one of the first offense against the holy name we chant every morning, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to preach the glories of the Lord. They're very glorious and very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada also says that even if you're not so qualified, but some or other sincerely execute the mission and the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we become dear to Krishna, because we are representing our spiritual master and the Sri Parampara according to our capacity. So Mahaprabhu gives us the mercy. So this is when the predictions of Mahaprabhu will gradually manifest throughout the world. We can see slowly, step by step. It might take time, of course, every town and village, the holy names of Krishna will be chanted. And we can see now we have centers in so many places around the world, throughout the world, even in Muslim countries, Iran, so many places like this, difficult places. And the world is humbly practicing the Krishna consciousness. And some or other, depending on the circumstances, they are attracting people. Because we're speaking about an eternal religion called Sanatana Dharma, which transcend the externals of religions. Because ultimately the purpose of religion is to understand the self and our relationship with the Supreme Divine, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So regardless of the external coverings and or external religions we call, time, place, circumstances, the devotees bring the attention of the people back to the real thing, which makes everyone united. Unity in diversity is the Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal nature of the soul, is to love God, to serve God, regardless of your religious. That's the whole purpose, to understand who you are and your relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Chand Kazi, in this case, who was one of the executors, one of the Islamic rule, the representation of the Islamic rulers, just like every state have the police force, the government departments, law and order. So similarly, in this context, Chand Kazi was representing law and order. He was prosecuting anyone who is not respectful to the law and order of a Muslim state. So it's very rigid, very secular, I would say. So he was very surprised. The Hindus quietly practiced their rituals and customs, but they never really sincerely or openly praised their God, Krishna. Very, very scared and very afraid of being punished. Fair enough, because it's a very heavy. Often you have to do it carefully. So, but the next question, where you get the strength from? Where you get this, where you get your daring to openly chant the holy names of Krishna, Sankirtan Yagna. So, it was a difficult time in one way, but of course the mercy and the strength comes from Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself. His very presence on the planet was a revolutionary, transcendental revolution. So, Srila Prabhupada says here, but with the presence of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they actually began following the regulative principles according to his order. That order is still existing, so it's very important to notice this. And anywhere and everywhere, all parts of the world, one can execute it. That order is to become a spiritual master under the direction of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu by following the regulative principles, chanting daily at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra, and preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world. So the same formula applies. It's not just for a certain time of our history. It's not just some historical records here. There's an eternal teaching here, relevant at all times, that we should take the mission of Mahaprabhu to our hearts, and especially sadhakas, practitioners, we chant the holy names as Srila Prabhupada taught, 16 rounds, following principles, and become representatives of our spiritual master. In other words, spiritual masters, in a sense that we spread the mercy. Especially congregational chanting, Harinam Shri, Harinama Sankirtan, distributing literature, book distribution, cultivating people who are inquiring about Krishna consciousness. So we should participate as much as we can. And this way we also learn the fundamental principles, the fundamental teachings of Krishna consciousness very nicely and become perfect Vaishnavas gradually. So it's a perfect formula for everyone, by the way. We all have our positions in our lives. Not everyone has the opportunity to be a missionary or a preacher, but somehow or other we can contribute to the mission of Mahaprabhu. And that's what Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu sees. We get the mercy of Mahaprabhu. And, is there any questions or comments on this? Yes. Yes.
Thank you for a nice class. I was wondering if you could comment. So many people chant, so many different lines of Krishna consciousness, so many just yoga people, all sorts of people chant. I was just wondering if you can talk about benefits and where us as devotees, where we should be with in all of that.
Yeah, okay. Very nice question. Of course, these are good questions, and we should very important to understand these things, regardless of our status in spiritual life, because just like I said about the quality of chanting, and how do we know what the quality is? First of all, we have to accept the bona fide spiritual master from an authorized lineage, Sri Parampara we call Sampradaya, and represented by highly qualified Vaishnavas, and we take shelter of them. And that's how we learn really the art of chanting the holy names purely and sincerely. Because without chanting sincerely, we cannot get the benefit, true, real benefit. Nevertheless, the holy name is transcendental. And so many people may chant, may not chant, or we have, like you said, there's so many people may be chanting and upper sampradayas, and only Krishna knows exactly where they are. It's so difficult to judge, but they may not get the full benefit. As someone who's coming on an authorized line, we get the authentic. The holy name is very merciful. We cannot really say that they may not get any benefit. They may get some gradually. They have to get purified and get rid of the offenses. It may take many lifetimes. It's not that they may not get any benefit. Because you see, even Kamsa, look at this, all the asuras, they were chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Well, somehow they got the benefit. Krishna came eventually. And maybe in a painful way, but Krishna came. So everyone gets the benefit, but just depends on how they get rewarded and how. But as sincere devotees, we want to chant, we want to get the best effect. Not just chanting and millions of lifetimes, just like we say in the morning. Inattentive chanting or offensive chanting, we may not get love of Godhead even after millions of lifetimes. So chanting is always good, but if we really want to get the benefit, which is really love Krishna, loving Krishna, and develop our devotion properly, then we have to actually follow an authentic teacher, bona fide teacher, not just any teacher. So we have to be careful here. That's why Srila Prabhupada emphasizes in the Bhagavad Gita, and that's why there's so much commentaries on this, how to select the bona fide spiritual master. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also explains it, see? So we have to be very careful, because there's so many people claiming to be gurus now, not that cheap. So we have to be very careful. We have to, first of all, we are very fortunate, of course. We have greatly fortunate. We all know, we feel, we have Samarada met Srila Prabhupada's glorious mission, noble mission, and within this mission there's so many advanced senior devotees we can take shelter of. They may not be in a position, high position, but we can take shiksha from them. And then when you see someone very elevated, then you can take diksha also. And they are devotees because we're all progressing towards the ultimate goal, as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport also, that if we apply the principles nicely, then gradually chanting will improve. But to do that, we have to follow the guidelines of Guru, because it's very difficult for us. We have to actually hear from the spiritual master, constant hearing and chanting and studying the scriptures. To select the spiritual master, we already have to have some level of understanding, seeing through the eyes of the Shastra, what are the qualities or qualifications of a bona fide spiritual master. So it all goes back to the very basics. Unless we have a bona fide spiritual master, spiritual life is not even possible, really. Nevertheless, the holy name is beyond all this, so it's a bit difficult for us to understand. I asked Bhanu Maharaj once about this, because you can see impersonalists, Brahmavadis, Mayavadis, they chant the Maha Mantra actually. And whether they get benefit. And he said they get benefit, but very slowly, as Krishna sees. And Chetya Guru, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knows everything. Because the holy name is come here to save us, really, especially in Kali Yuga. So, just like this is called a causeless mercy. Somewhere we got the causeless mercy, even just hearing. You can see it when we go out there. People either chant or not chanting, but they're hearing the holy name, they get the benefit. They may be very engrossed in sinful activities, but the holy name touches them, touches their heart, touches they may even offensive to us, but somehow they utter the holy names of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That pure vibration, the transcendental vibration, directly Krishna himself touches soul. They don't realize it on a conscious plane, but Krishna planted the seed. So Prabhupada planted the seed, the books are going out, the holy name is spread. That's why it's so nice to have these Harinams every Sunday or every Saturday, whenever. Or any congregation chanting we have on the farm also, because this is really the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the book's also chanting, as you know, it's a recorded sound vibration. So everything is chanting, really, in our philosophical understanding. Glorifying the holy name, spreading the mercy, and helping as many fallen conditioned souls around us, according to our capacity. We do what we can, and gradually, by the grace of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we also become a perfected devotee with strength, purity, potency. So we're aiming for that, of course. We want to go further up gradually, but patiently. We have to be patient. It takes, if we just analyze that we've been in this material world countless lifetimes, we have no idea. Millions of lifetimes, we don't know. So some or other, we got that causeless mercy. Some grains of prasadam or the holy name, and by the mercy of the holy name or Krishna Prasad or mercy of a Vaishnava, or touched the book. then Krishna starts a process for us, gradually, and to the point that we actually inquire, what is Krishna consciousness? What is this? Let me see the books. It's true for everyone, really. That's how I met Krishna consciousness. I read Srila Prabhupada's books, took prasadam, had the association of devotees, and it triggered these emotions. What is Krishna consciousness? Let me have a look into this. And if we are very fortunate, we stay with it, we develop it and cultivate it. So it's a cultivating knowledge. And then there are people chanting, like you mentioned, lots of people chanting, but only Krishna knows when they're actually ready to take anything proper, authentic, maybe next life or after. So Bhanu Maharaj said that even the Mayavadis get the benefit, but maybe the future lives they actually start reaping the benefit. Because this Mayavadi, as we all know, Mayavadi confusion is very, very contaminating. Very difficult to get rid of that. One may have to even take birth. It's so contaminating that even devotees can get affected by these misconceptions, which is just another form of Maya, really, delusion. So devotees should be very vigilant to stay, like I said earlier, emphasizing that we have to take shelter of our spiritual masters. We can have many shiksha guidance also. Any devotees who have a deeper realization, we take shelter, humbly serve, and inquire. And that's how we unfold and get realizations ourselves. So Krishna is not cheap, so we have to actually be sincere. Nevertheless, the holy name is merciful, unlimitedly merciful. We cannot say that people who have a chant, even if they're inimical, they cannot get the benefit. No, they get the benefit, just like even morsels, even the birds, they get the morsels of Mahaprasadam, they get the benefit. They're just birds. Krishna is so kind, he's trying to save us from here. But only the very sincere ones who actually able to take it and speed up the process. Why to stay here for many, many lifetimes just to, No, as soon as possible. Srila Prabhupada encouraged the devotees, as we read his books and purports and lectures, that an intelligent person, he does not want to take another birth here again. We know a very, very difficult place to be, the material world. And we don't want to take another cycle. There's so much suffering going on here. Even just for that purpose, we have to get out of here. Not to speak of understanding Krishna as he is, according to our capacity. So this is, I can say. Today, I won't get into Lokanath Das Goswami's. There's also Lokanath Das Goswami's disappearance. There's a lot to say about it. It wouldn't be, even a whole class wouldn't be enough. I encourage everyone to read about him. And Prabhupada gives lectures, and you read songs, especially Narottama Das Thakur, because what happens, Lokanath Das Goswami was a very dear associate of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Narottama Das Thakur accepted him as his spiritual master. So we can see how close they are, Lokanath Das Goswami and Narottama Das Thakur. So highly exalted devotees. And one has to be quite advanced even to give a lecture on this. So, but they're beautiful descriptions. You can find it on various websites, authentic, authorized websites, of course. Devotees elaborating on Lokanath Das Goswami and Narottama Das Thakur and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So, very beautiful pastimes here with Mahaprabhu and Lokanath Das Goswami. So, Lokanath Das Goswami ki jai, Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. I think we can finish. Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. CaksusDas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai.